Welcome back to Three Film Reviews. These reviews are just for fun, and this one is about Deep Water, released in 2022, directed by Adrian. But in fact, he comes back after 20 years, and having made the movie Unfaithful in 2002, here we go with Deep Water. Maybe Line has a fascination for the subject of infidelity. What's interesting here is that the protagonist has an aviary where he's uh, watching the snails, and when somebody asks whether he can eat the snails, he says the snails have to be starved in the first place. It's only then that you got to eat them because they can be poisonous. But of course, it's not with all snails. There are only certain kinds of snails. The concept of starving the snails before eating them goes well with the subject. Well, the movie per se, Deep Water, has been classified as an erotic one, but I view it a bit differently. This is for mature audiences, there's no doubt about that. But then the question the director asks is a little indirect. What do you do if the woman whom you marry uh, is longing for more and more gratification from other sources than the husband, extramarital affairs, and family is extended, you have a kid. Now, this is based on a novel written by Patricia Highsmith with a different title, and that is a very old novel, 1950s perhaps, and the protagonist gets away by committing more than one murder. He simply murders the guy who is having the affair with his wife, and he doesn't divorce his wife. When she asks him the question, he says, "See, we have a family," and this lady tells, "It's your choice, not mine, because extending the family was your choice." Now, the question here is a bit striking. Now, after marriage, begetting a child, and extending the family, and raising a family, whether this act of personal gratification can be uh, a passe. If you have to sustain this family, now the point here is if you divorce your wife and your kid is not is deprived of a mother, do we have the right to do that? Secondly, this man murders those guys who have intruded, transgressed into his family, but retained his wife. At the end of the film, you see the kid in the rear seat of the car, and she is singing for herself. She's enjoying it. The car is just moving along. The message is clear. Now, whether those individuals who have been invited by the lady can be spared, because don't they have the character? They're supposed to reject her and say, "See, you're a married woman, you have a kid. We can't do the injustice to your husband." That's something which they should have said. So the novelist, in fact, the director of the film, also suggests that they should be given the kind of treatment which the movie has shown. But of course, What is missing in the movie is the tertiary range of psychoanalysis. Normally, we do have the Oedipal trajectory in film studies, which, if you take that to the third dimensional level, we have a lot of deeper psychoanalysis involved. For instance, you have the kid, and the the story narrated from that side would open a lot of doors for further narration. That didn't happen here. The kid actually brings back the suitcase which her mother is taking away, wanting to move out of this home, having learned about the latest murder. She just brings it back, suggesting that with all your faults, we love you and we need you in the family. So the snails have been stopped. But the question remains, because the movie, I do agree with some of the critics who have said that the deeper psychoanalysis is drained out of this kind of a treatment. So, but otherwise, the performances by Ben Affleck and another Armaz was just ordinary, but the serious kind of disposition and the dialogue delivery of Ben Affleck, and someone who is determined to hold on to his family in spite of those hazardous exercises. His disposition and acting performance is good enough. It's worth watching, but of course it is meant for mature audiences. Once again, the good thing about the movie is that it doesn't drag. It goes one after the other. It just moves, but the third dimension in depicting the Oedipal trajectory is missing in the story.